politicians to account. Our task is a little bigger. And if we don't do a little bit of a deep dive, what we'll do is to continue playing the ostrich. And this ostrich playing will continue for a long time. Often I've asked myself, are we truly against corruption as a people? It's a question that often is not well answered. Are we truly against corruption as a people? Supposing we've managed to take politicians out of the conversation and just look at us as a society, are we as a society truly against corruption? And sometimes I think we are not. And let me say why I think we are not. It's simple. I think generally a group that is truly against corruption is invariably a group that also respects contentment and respects modesty. And I think as a society, we do not respect contentment, we do not respect modesty. Many of you young people may be surprised that your icons are icons that are simply based on materialism. The people you aspire to become are simply people who have money. Your respect is not on the back of the content of people's character. Not on the content or not the value of what the impact those people bring to society. And so if you have a society that fundamentally is premised not on respecting the character of people or the impact of people, but that society is premised on what you have in your pocket, what car you drive, what house you live in, where your children attend school, what shoe you wear, what watch you wear. That society is a society that simply can never overcome corruption. So you may have a Jerry Rawlings who will come and 3 heads of states will be executed. A lot of things will have done. And what you simply achieve is simply cause a situation where people will go a little underground, but they will resurrect again because the real values is in the hearts of the society. So if you have a society where the chiefs believe in material acquisition, the elders believe in material acquisitions, the individuals in the society genuinely believe in it. And many of you, and I'm sure my big brother Tomelevo knows, many of you will know, for instance, that in our society, even if you're a politician and you do what is right, you put your foot down and do what is right, the very people who insult you are your very family people who tell you, you are a fool, you are stupid, how dare you, you've been given an opportunity, you have to make sure you exploit it to the maximum. So it's a society that does not fundamentally believe in people doing what is right. And I say, we need to look into the mirror properly as a society. Because the politicians often we accuse are simply a reflection of who we are. They just reflect us. So that's why you move one away, the other one is coming right from here. Sometimes you go straight to SRCs in our schools, the same levels of corruption. You go into our business, the same levels of corruption. You go into the churches, the same level of corruption. You go into our society, the way we are destroying our land, destroying our forest, just for little pittances. So I'm not saying the conversation is not important. It is. But it must be deep enough. And if it's possible, it must come from the root enough. Because if you accuse the fruits without realizing the real problem is the seed that you planted, then you are simply not being smart. Because the problem is not the fruit that is rotten. The problem is the seed that you continue to sow. And I want to submit that it is a seed that is deep and it's coming really from the culture. It's coming from the society. And unfortunately, we call ourselves a very religious society. Oh, we are a God-loving people, God-fearing people. But that is just talk. Because what truly we love is not God, it's money. That's what we love. That's what we respect. Because I can tell you that many people will not even rise to a certain position in any serious society, which are rising in societies in Africa. And the only reason they are rising is because they've got money. If they've got money, they can pay around. There are people who you will not even want to listen to them because they don't have anything serious in their head. And their character is so deficient. But those people have money, and therefore they can call and command anything. How many of you did not watch number one in this country? Policemen were in front of number one. People were standing for number one. People were hailing number one. And everybody with serious mind knew that the guy was a crook, a walking criminal. But until he was exposed, I can tell you, colleagues of mine in parliament were defending number one. When number one appeared before the committee, the finance committee, when some of us call him in the face that you are a liar, a crook, a criminal, colleagues of ours say, no, you dare not say that because their monies were in the same business that number one was giving them. So I'm just telling you that it's a society that is rotten to the core. And if we want to solve this problem, let's by all means start with the leaders. That's no problem because leaders are those who are holding our money. So we must start with them. But if we think the problem is solved at that level, remember, Rollins killed 3 of them. The problem never got solved because the problem is deeper. Those who shouted, let the blood flow, were those who actually go back to those same politicians and collect money from them on a daily basis. I, for example, have been in parliament, I can tell you. One of the reasons why I couldn't stay too long, largely again, is because of the same societal problem that believes that leadership is all about how much money you can collect from leaders. Meanwhile, if these leaders are supposed to live according to their income, they obviously cannot do the things that society is expecting them to do. So a lot of leaders sometimes are forced to do things because the very society believes that it is your duty as leaders to be doing things that are way beyond your income. And if that leader says, I want is a very wicked leader, how dare you? All your colleagues are sharing money. Why can't you share money? I can't share money because I don't have the money my colleagues have. Why don't you have it? Then you must be a very bad leader because if others are doing what they do to get money, you must as well do it. So it's a deep conversation that we must have. If we don't have that conversation, what we're doing is literally just, what was the exact word? Skirting around the issue, dancing around the issue, and not going to the heart of the conversation. The heart of the conversation, as Jesus would say, is the axe must be laid to the very roots of the tree, and not simply being content in cutting the fruits or the branches at the top. Those must be, because those are the ones that we see quickly. But if we don't penetrate to the deep core, and if young people, you yourself don't start asking your questions as to why you do not respect contentment, modesty, why are your icons always material acquisitions? Why are you constantly thinking about how quickly I can get the latest car, I can drive, I can have this watch and have this car and so on? That often becomes the problem. I've had opportunity to interact a lot with so many people. And one of the things I respect the most about sometimes our brothers, the Asians, and also our brothers, the Caucasians, is that they have evolved to the level where money is not necessarily the source of respect and admiration. So I can see Bill Gates, and Bill Gates has no problem wearing, a pair of shoes that my very poor brother will wear. Bill Gates hasn't got a problem wearing the kind of watch that ordinary people will wear. But our brothers in London, in Germany, in America will tell you that when, for example, we in Africa are even asking people to send us things. When you see an African says, send me, phone, mobile phone, it's asking you to send him iPhone. Meanwhile, the people in America don't have the problem sometimes using phones that are far cheaper. But we that are poor demand things that are so expensive, and we expect that to be done, that is how we start having desires that are way beyond our means. And so this issue of corruption is deep and goes beyond. It's very largely tied to what you call the reason why we have massive deficit when we are in government. Because we are used at the individual level to live way beyond our means. So when we move into government, we are forced again to spend way beyond the resources of the country. That brings the debt, that brings the poverty, that brings the haircut and all the difficulties. But having said all that, there is responsibility at the level of leadership, and I totally go with the need for leadership to set that example. But if we don't go beyond leadership, we just keep going around and coming back to the same problem over and over. Thank you very much.